Pesky's Pest Control. Put your bugs on the run. Call 205-470-8161.
Hey, and welcome to the very first video podcast with Pesky's Pest Control. And I'm your host, Travis McGowan, the manager of the Pesky's Pest Control Montgomery branch. And here today with me, I have Michael Winnicky, owner and operator of Pesky's out of Birmingham, Alabama. Michael, how are you doing today?
Travis, I'm doing great, man. How are you?
I'm doing very well. So, Michael, what are we talking about today?
Well, just wanted to talk about how great the weather is. Obviously not yesterday, but it's been sunny, and what brings right there before summertime really hits off. What do we start seeing just a huge influx of?
Well, Michael, I'm going to have to go with answer A, which is termites. Am I right?
Yes, sir. We're seeing a ton of termite swarmers already, very early in the season for Birmingham. I don't think we started seeing a huge influx until about April. So it's been a very interesting March.
Oh, definitely. Just the other day, I was literally about to get started with my route. I had a full day planned, a lot of different appointments to do, and within about 15 minutes, I had 2 phone calls for active termite swarmers coming out of multiple customers' walls in their houses, and that kind of shut everything down. It totally made me rearrange my day because we had to go take care of some termites.
Yes, I mean that's definitely going to take precedence over some of the smaller jobs that we had, and we had to reschedule and get those termites out of that house as quickly as possible for those customers. And we've had the same thing in Birmingham. It's no fun when you have thousands of termites flying around your kitchen or your bedroom or anything like that.
No, definitely. So, Michael, kind of go over with us, what is it that causes the termites to all of a sudden make their grand appearance? When you hadn't actually seen the termites this entire time, you think everything's fine in your house, and then all of a sudden, boom, there they are. So what kind of causes that?
Well, the first cause would be not having any termite protection on your home at all, as far as to keep the termites out. Typically, when you start seeing swarmers in your home, you've had a pretty decent infestation for quite some time, and they're just breaking out. They're looking to reinfest and start a new colony elsewhere.
Yeah, definitely. So, here in Alabama, what are the 2 types of termites that we end up typically seeing? I know that there's multiple types, in terms of the pest control world: dry wood, damp wood. Subterranean. So what type do we actually usually see right here in Alabama?
Yeah, so the main one that we see is going to be your eastern subterranean termites. We do have Formosan termites, especially where you're at in Montgomery area. We do see them here in Birmingham, but it's very rare. Obviously, Formosans are going to be, the most destructive. It's a lot bigger colony, so you're going to have a lot more eaters, basically. Where eastern subterranean colony, you may have 1 million. Formosan, you may have 4 or 6 million in a colony. So bigger family to feed.
Now, definitely, those are some very large numbers that you're talking about in terms of colony sizes, and so when a termite forages, through the ground to reach your house, how far can a termite actually go before it reaches your house? In terms of from where the colony actually is at, where their nest is located.
Yeah, so the colony could be located, in a wood line behind your house. It could be located, in shrubbery in your yard. But typically, termites traveling about 100 yards in each direction. So, unfortunately, if your neighbor has termites, then once they're kind of done with that, they could start venturing out to your home as well.
So, like the length of a football field.
The length of a football field, and
that's impressive, especially something that's this small.
Oh,
that's
yeah,
impressive.
It's they have developed a very easy way to fit through. I mean, they can fit through cracks the size of a credit card. They don't really discriminate as far as getting through steel. They can build shelter tubes over steel, brick, cinder block. We see shelter tubes running up cinder block, brick. And then you also have to think, they're traveling towards wood. So whether you have a brick home, cinder block home, they can build that shelter tube as high as they need to. And we actually have some great video footage, and we have some great pictures of shelter tubes actually going down the floor joist into the ground and vice versa. So they're very versatile as far as where they can go and where they can get.
Definitely. Well, let's take a look at some of that video footage that you recorded for us. And we appreciate you getting that while you're out in the field.
Wow.
Yeah, we try to take as many pictures as we can, and we just want to let the homeowner know, or anybody that's listening, watching, anything like that, that it's a real problem, and it's very important to just be proactive, and that's on anything pest control related, home related, anything like that. You always want to just make sure that your home is protected.
Well, let me ask you this. So in terms of home protection, I mean, most people probably already know that you can have liquid treatments, that you can have bait treatments. But what are things that a homeowner themselves can do to try to deter termites from even, putting their house on the menu of something to eat? Like, what are some things that you can do around your own house proactively to keep the termites away, or to try to keep them from, wanting to come to your house?
Yeah, so there are some very easy ways to keep them out. Actually, I have a great video of a customer that put some firewood in their garage that actually had a termite protection with us, and was doing the yearly renewal. And the firewood that they had in the garage, actually they brought termites in with the firewood, and the termites were traveling into the crack of the garage floor back into the dirt. So that
we definitely need to share that one with our viewers right now, because that was actually pretty impressive. I remember you sharing that with me.
All right, so here we're doing a termite inspection in a garage, and I noticed that there was some firewood, and the customer stated that she had been stacking the firewood in the corner right here, and then they moved it to this wheelbarrow. So when I moved the wheelbarrow, I happened to see the imprint of mud tubes on the ground from where the wood was stacked. And right here, well, they've gone back into the ground now, but see, we've got live termites coming from the firewood. So this is why it's so important not to stack firewood up against your house or in your house. That was shocking. I can honestly say I've never seen that before. I've always heard of it. We're very proactive in telling our customers, hey, try to keep the firewood away from the house. And it doesn't even have to be that far, just not right up against the house, not in the crawl space. A lot of people store it in their garage, and I understand you're trying to keep it dry, but with that, and not only termites, you can get, roaches from that, ants from that. So there's a lot of problems that can cause. As far as the other ways, some realistic, some unrealistic. They say not to have any wood up against the house. That would be pine straw mulch, but that's not really a realistic thing. Another big way is just keeping the house dry, making sure your crawl space is encapsulated, or you have a moisture barrier, and just making sure no water is getting under there in the first place. Because rotten wood is a termite's, that's a delicacy for a termite.
Definitely. You talk about all these different things that termites can do to get inside of a structure, different, what we call conducive conditions and things that, make your house more attractive. But I've even seen termites, like you were saying earlier about what they can climb over and what they can build over. But I've even seen termites, crawl up the side of a cinder block wall and get into the wall, the framing, and then come out, of course, of the swarmers when the time and the weather's right.
So here we are in Birmingham, where we have a customer who had active termite swarmers flying out of their living room towards the ceiling. Upon inspection of the outside of the property, directly outside where the swarmers came out of, right here underneath the porch, you see we got active termites coming up through a mud tube and occasionally you'll see the active termites as they pass through their little trail right there. But I raked that mud tube off, and they were traveling back and forth up and down through it. And there's one right there coming up from the bottom, if you can kind of see him. But yes, we do have active termites at this property.
I've even seen termites go up the side of a privacy fence, not even close to a customer's house. They literally were building mud tubes up in broad daylight and eating the face off the front of a privacy fence. So I've come to realize that I believe that termites can just kind of go wherever they want to go and do whatever they want to do at this point.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, it's an insect. You know, it does have a brain. One of the big things that you need to understand, the homeowner needs to understand, is that if you have swarmers inside your house, 99.9% of the time you have a termite infestation inside that house. Now, we do see a lot of customers that call us on termite infestations where they may be around the house, flying around the house. And that's, you know, those termites are breaking out of a wood line, a rotten tree, something that they've been infesting other than a home, or it could have even been another home that was infested, and those termites are just flying around that home, you know, looking to infest some type of wood, whether it be your house, a tree stump, something.
Well, let me ask you this. So a customer calls you and says, hey, I've got these, you know, bugs flying out of my wall, turn out to be termites, or you know, maybe they don't have swarmers. Maybe they're just looking for somebody to take really great care of their house and somebody to be very thorough. So kind of walk our viewers through what it is that you do, you know, when you arrive at the customer's house. Like, what are some things that you do immediately? You know, how is that service going to go? What are they going to expect, you know, in terms of what Pesky's is going to do for them?
Yeah, great question. So biggest thing we get there is the consultation is the first. We ask them, you know, have they had any water leaks, major foundation issues, you know, trying to get a feel of something that may have happened in the past that could have caused a termite issue. After that, we do a full inside and out, top to bottom detailed inspection where we sound all the baseboards, checking all the windows, the windowsills, you know, taking a flashlight, looking through all the sheetrock, making sure we don't see any mud tubes coming out of sheetrock or any, you know, indication that, you know, I always tell people, if you've ever ripped sheetrock off and you've painted over that ripped sheetrock, the moisture from that paint bubbles out. Well, a termite kind of does the same thing. It will eat that paper out of the sheetrock and it bubbles out that paint, or it just disintegrates and, you know, you have a hole there. So that flashlight is going to kind of help us to determine, you know, if there's anything in that sheetrock. After that, if there's a crawl space, we're going to get in the crawl space, crawl the entire crawl space, looking for any kind of, you know, major issues that could cause a termite problem. And even also, you know, we're very proactive. So we found a lot of water leaks. We found, you know, some rot that people may have not known they had, some shower leaks, just trying to help that customer out, you know, doing something that's not even really in our scope. So, you know, just trying to get out, checking everything out on the inside. Around the outside, we look at all, you know, around the bottom of it, the bottom of the home, looking for any shelter tubes, any activity that termites could enter through a weep hole or anything like that.
That's awesome. Well, I know that you and I both like to pride ourselves on being extremely thorough, you know, looking in depth and in detail at some of the customer's property. And like you said, going above and beyond and trying to, you know, identify other risks and other things that the customer may not know they have. You know, I don't know how many times I've lost count of how many times that I've come across, you know, like you said, an active water leak or an active moisture problem, you know, that could be a conducive problem for termites to come along. And maybe it hasn't reached that point yet, but, you know, we're in it to help the customers. We're in it to make sure that their house is protected from more than just termites. So I think this is some very useful information for everybody. So, Michael, you know, somebody's got a problem there in your area. Why don't you tell us how it is that we can get a hold of you?
Yeah, so you can give us a call directly. You can speak with me. I'd be happy to speak with you anytime. My number is 205-470-8161. And, you know, even if you have any questions, if you don't want to use us, or, you know, you want a second opinion from, you know, your previous company or the company you have, we'd be more than happy to speak with you and kind of walk you through our process and how we can help you in, you know, in any way.
Google Pesky's Pest Control. Put your